What up, people? This is the Nature Girl 30 here, and I'm going to keep it real. I totally forgot that Smackdown had a live show last night, so I actually did watch it on the internet. And I'm going to be honest, it wasn't all that bad. Okay, I'm not going to lie. The whole Christmas before in November thing, I mean, I guess in America, they always did Christmas in July. They always did Christmas a weird time of the year. Either it was too high or too depressing. So they pull this whole Christmas stuff off and completely forget Thanksgiving. And I mean, that's usually how it is in the U.S. So, I mean, I'm kind of accustomed to it. So that didn't really take me out of the show. But I'm going to be honest, it wasn't a bad show. There were a few good points that I'm going to touch on, and then there's a few points that needs to be improved, and then there's an idea that I actually have. Now, for some of the matches, the one match that I had an issue with was the Booker T match with Cody Rhodes. I really, honestly, and truthfully wanted that to be an IC Championship match, just to show that Booker T has it. I mean, of course, he's not going to keep the belt, but at least, you know, have Booker T out there to be in a match. And I mean, and that was definitely, in my opinion, pay-per-view worthy. I would rather have them on TLC doing it than on there doing it. And they didn't even have the match because Booker T got taken out before it even came on. And that was kind of sucky. But the one thing I consider was completely insulting was the Divas match. Every year, they dress up as these dumb characters, either as elves or as Santa Claus or as Mrs. Claus or whatever. They dress up every single year for a stupid battle royal. And with the mistletoe match, I honestly thought that they were going to have, like, you know, a future Divas championship, like Money in the Bank, which I think would be a great idea for the Divas division to actually have a Money in the Bank for the Divas title. It'll give it, like, extra flair. I mean, it'll actually give it some kind of a substance. And, I mean, but the whole mistletoe reason was just for them to grab the mistletoe to kiss the nearest guy they see. I'm so sick to death of the Divas being treated as nothing but eye candy. And some of them actually do have talent. And even though I have my beef with Kelly at times, she has greatly improved over the years. And she's definitely becoming a diva and a Divas champion. But as usual, they're making them look like nothing but a bunch of Barbie dolls. It's just kissable worthy and screw worthy or whatever. That's pretty much what it is, and that's sickened me. But honestly, that was one of my ideas to actually have a Divas Money in the Bank match to give them some sort of a reason to even be there. But moving on from there, I have to say that the main event of the night was the Daniel Bryan match, and honestly, we all saw this coming. Daniel Bryan has a huge amount of potential, and it makes me so excited to see Daniel Bryan actually being in these matches because the guy is aggressive. He's not a pushover like Michael Cole always says, and just because he's a vegan doesn't mean that he's a total wuss. The guy can take you out. He is technical up here. The only problem is that he was using his brawn more than his brains, and unfortunately, he ended up losing the match. But he hasn't totally lost because he still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, which really is going to go on towards WrestleMania. And I actually, like I said before, if he lost the Money in the Bank briefcase before, he would become completely irrelevant and he would completely be like washed out of the storyline. But I really did like that match. It showed Daniel Bryan's potential, and it showed that Daniel Bryan is there's a lot more to his character than what people believe it is. So I really did like that match. The one match that actually did make me happy was the Jinder Mahal match that he had with Justin Gabriel. Jinder Mahal, like I've said as of late, he has great mic skills. He has awesome potential to be a great heel, like a great heel character. The only thing that kind of pisses me off is the fact that he has this ridiculous, okay, not ridiculous, but he has this stereotypical 80s style exotic feel to him. Just like they did with the Iron Sheik back in the 80s with the whole Persian Gulf War. They had to have somebody that represents that. And then they had to have Sergeant Slaughter representing America. They're kind of doing the same thing here. But even though we have nothing to do with India at this point, not feuding-wise, they end up having to bring the whole exotic culture in and kind of make that the whole like 360 circle of his character, which is dumb in my opinion, because Jinder Mahal, he has a lot of potential. It's just he does not have any flair or any style for his in-ring skills. His in-ring skills still need to improve, but the fact that they're going to actually have him feud with Ted DiBiase will actually help his character a little bit. Will actually bring him up a little bit, and hopefully Ted DiBiase put him over, even though Ted DiBiase needs to be put over himself. But all in all, I was happy to see them both in that match, and I was happy to see the match go the way it did, because it's going to show that Jinder Mahal is going to be put out there a lot more. He's going to probably be trained a lot more, and his style skills are going to improve the more matches that he's in. So I'm kind of happy with that, because he really does need it. And it was also great to see Ted DiBiase out there. He's also full of potential. I still don't like him as a face. I would rather have him as an arrogant heel, but they're going to keep him as a face, so, you know, oh well, what you going to do about that? And Mick Foley is corny as usual. But honestly, my big markout moment, and I don't have any markout moments, but my big markout moment of the night was to see the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I was screaming at the top of my lungs when I saw that, man. It was awesome. Not only him, but Roddy Piper too. Gosh, that was great. Brings back so many memories. It was awesome seeing him. But the one match of the night that could have outshined the main event of the night was the over-the-top battle royal. It would have worked if it just wasn't for when there was 5 players left in the ring, and all of a sudden they were strategizing. For some strange reason, Jinder Mahal was kind of the overseer of the plan, and they would all try to take out Hornswoggle. Instead of teasing him, they just should have tossed him out, but instead it was a match that could have outshined the main event. But it didn't. And it just got really lame with Sheamus trying to kick him out. And then Hornswoggle ended up winning. And then Sheamus is like, yay, champion. Instead of just tossing him over the ring like I really wish he would have done. But I'm not dissing on the fact that Hornswoggle is a dwarf and he's surrounded by a bunch of giants. It's not really all that. It's just that how in the world is he going to be taken seriously when he can honestly be stepped on at any time? If he was, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a strategic dude. Tongue tied. But honestly, having Hornswoggle in the match was something that just shouldn't have happened, because it just seems like a gimmick. It seems like a joke. I mean, having him in the match full of nothing but giants, it wouldn't have been taken seriously. I can't consider that a David and Goliath style match, because does anybody consider him as David? Not really. So, I mean, I really feel bad for Hornswoggle, because it made it seem like a complete joke of a match. But one match that I'm still don't understand that happened. I kind of know why it happened, but then the fact that they actually had him as an opponent was something I didn't understand. That was David Otunga versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton, he kicked his butt up and down the ring. Like, seriously, there was no point of having David Otunga in the match, because we all know that his in-ring skills suck. We all know his mic skills suck, except that when he's playing lawyer, he has a little bit of flair there, I guess, if you call it that. But either or, if people actually thought that Randy Orton was going to put him over, where were you? Like, there was no way. That whole match was just pretty much made for Randy Orton. Like, you know, ho, 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 slam, Merry Christmas, elbow drop. Like, for real. That's all it was. Randy Orton was just dominating. And that match, any Randy Orton match is made to have Randy Orton look good. For those that are new, that's pretty much what it is. Every Randy Orton match that is ever done is just made for Randy Orton to look good. And that's what David Otunga was. He was the punching bag. And he was punched thoroughly. Even with Wade Barrett coming out and, you know, interfering in the match a little bit. But it was just it was a no DQ match. So either or, it didn't even matter. But when Wade Barrett came out, that didn't even help. He couldn't even win that. Not even on his best day. So honestly, having him out there was stupid. But all in all, I have to say that it wasn't a bad SmackDown. There were a few matches that I did not understand, like the Divas match, and then the backstage scenes were kind of funny, especially the fact that, you know, that they had like Hornswoggle talk at the end. I thought that was really cute. But all in all, it wasn't a bad SmackDown. So honestly, I gotta give it a C plus for the night, and the reason why is because of the Battle Royal. The Battle Royal could have really outshined the main event because we all knew what the outcome was. We all knew that Daniel Bryan was not going to win. So honestly, the Battle Royal should have been improved to where it would have outshined the main event. But unfortunately, it didn't. So I gotta give it a C plus for the night. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. See you later.